Confession of the Orphan. They all think I don't understand, that I'm just another forgotten kid clinging to fairy tales about real parents who will come for me someday. The social workers, the foster families, the counselors, they smile their soft, pitying smiles and say, "Sweetheart, sometimes parents can't come back." But they don't know what I know. I know my parents are coming back for me, because they told me. I've been here since I was 5, at least that's what they say. I don't really remember being brought here. I remember rain, though, heavy rain. Mud on my shoes, my mother's hand gripping mine too tightly, her nails digging into my wrist as she whispered, "Don't be afraid of the dark, baby. The dark will keep you safe until we come back." Then she kissed me, twice, once on my forehead, once on my mouth, and she and my father disappeared into the storm. The police found me on the orphanage steps the next morning, shivering and silent. They said my parents must have abandoned me, but I don't think they did. They said they were coming back, and they always keep their word. The other kids used to laugh at me. They'd say things like, "Maybe your parents got lost, or maybe they didn't want you." I used to cry when they said that. I don't anymore. I just smile, because I know something they don't. My parents visit me. Not in the daytime, not when the nuns are around. They come at night, always after lights out, when the hallways are still and the air feels heavy. I can feel them before I see them. The air turns cold like winter breath creeping through the cracks in a window. And then I hear them whisper my name, Lena. Always from the corner of the room, never from the doorway, like they're already inside. At first I thought I was dreaming, but dreams don't leave footprints, and every time they visit, I find mud on the floor by my bed, the same dark mud from that night they left me. I used to try to tell the sisters, but they just look at each other with that, "Oh, she's broken" expression. They don't clean it anymore. They make me do it myself like it's a punishment. I don't mind. It makes me feel closer to them. Families have come to see me, plenty of them. Some kind, some nervous, some pretending to care more than they really do. They always say the same thing. "You're such a pretty girl, Lena. Would you like to come and live with us?" And I always tell them no. Not yet, because my parents are coming back. One time, a social worker tried to make me go anyway. Said it wasn't healthy to cling to false hope. She drove me out to some house in the country with a smiling couple and a dog named Daisy. They seemed nice. I tried to pretend. I even unpacked my clothes. But that first night, when I closed my eyes, I heard them, my parents, whispering at the window. Not angry, just sad, disappointed. "We told you to wait, Lena. You promised you would wait." When I opened my eyes, the window was open, even though I'd locked it before bed. The curtains were blowing inward, and Daisy was whimpering under the bed. The next morning, the couple found the wall scratched, long marks deep into the plaster. They said it must have been the dog, but Daisy wouldn't come out for 2 days. I came back to the orphanage after that. They didn't try to send me away again. Sometimes I wonder what's taking my parents so long. I used to think maybe they got lost, or maybe they had to go somewhere far away where children weren't allowed. But I think I know now. I think they're waiting until I'm ready to go where they went. They don't look the same as before, at least not exactly. My mother's face is pale, like the moon through fog. My father's eyes are darker now, like the water in a deep well. But they still sound the same, still say the same things. "Soon, Lena, we'll be together soon." Last night I felt my mother's hand on my hair again. It was cold but gentle. She whispered, "Don't let them take you, darling. You belong with us." And I believe her. Sometimes I watch the other girls when they get adopted. They hug their new parents and cry happy tears. The nuns clap, everyone smiles. I just watch, because I know that's not for me. That's not my story. My story isn't the sunshine, or the photographs, or the shiny cars that drive away. My story is in the dark. I don't mind waiting. The nights are long, but I know they're getting closer. I can feel them moving down the hall sometimes. Soft footsteps, wet on the tile. The sisters don't hear it, but I do. They'll be here soon. I'll hear the rain again, and this time I won't let go of their hands. Because my parents didn't abandon me. They're just coming from farther away than most. It happened on a Thursday. The rain had been falling since morning. Not the light, pretty kind, but the heavy kind that feels like the sky is breaking open. The hallways smelled like wet wood and iron, and the nuns kept crossing themselves every time thunder shook the roof. I knew before anyone said anything. I felt it in the air. The way the lights flickered, the way the other children got restless and quiet all at once. The way the temperature dropped so suddenly that our breath fogged in front of us. I was sweeping the corridor outside the dormitory when Sister Agnes came running, her rosary clattering against her chest. She looked pale, like she had seen a ghost. "Lena," she said, voice trembling, There's a couple here asking for you." My heart almost stopped. She took my hand, and for the first time in years, I saw fear in her eyes. Not the tired kind, not the pitying kind, but real fear. We walked down the main hallway toward the front doors. The floor creaked under us. Every step felt heavy, like walking through water. And then when we reached the foyer, I saw them. They were standing just inside the doorway, dripping wet. My mother's hair clung to her face, long and dark, exactly how I remembered it. My father stood beside her, tall and quiet, his coat soaked through. The lights above them flickered. Every time it dimmed, they looked clearer. When it came back, they seemed less solid, like the brightness hurt them. "Hello, sweetheart," my mother said. Her voice was exactly the same, soft, tired, full of that strange warmth that had lived in my memories for so long. I wanted to run to her. I did take a step forward, but Sister Agnes tightened her grip on my hand. "Who are you?" she demanded. "You can't just—" "They're my parents," I said before she could finish. My mother smiled, and even though her lips barely moved, I could see the rainwater dripping from her chin. My father nodded once, slow, his eyes fixed on me. "We've come to take you home," he said. Sister Agnes whispered something under her breath, a prayer maybe, and I felt her hand shaking. "This isn't right," she said. "You can't, she's—" But I was already walking toward them. I didn't even feel my feet moving. The closer I got, the colder it became. I could see my breath fog in the air, and the sound of the rain outside grew louder, as if it was right above me, pouring through the roof. When I reached my mother, she touched my face. Her fingers were ice, but they didn't hurt. They just left little drops of water on my skin that slid down like tears. "You waited," she whispered. "You did so well." I nodded. "I told everyone you'd come." Her smile widened. My father reached out his hand. His sleeve was torn, and beneath it his wrist was pale. Too pale, but his grip was strong when I took it. Behind me I heard Sister Agnes crying. "Please, Lena," she begged. "Don't go out there. It's not them. It's not them." But it was. I knew it was. I'd know their voices anywhere. The doors opened on their own. The rain didn't fall in drops anymore. It came in sheets, thick and endless. But when I stepped into it, it wasn't cold anymore. It was warm, almost comforting, like it had been waiting for me too. My parents led me down the steps, their hands never letting go of mine. The world around us blurred, fading like a watercolor in the rain. I looked back once. The orphanage windows glowed behind me, yellow light in the storm, and I could see the other children watching, their faces pressed against the glass. Then my mother whispered, "Close your eyes." So I did. The thunder faded, the rain softened, and when I opened my eyes again, there was no more orphanage, no more walls, just the sound of water, steady and deep. My parents stood behind me, smiling, truly smiling, for the first time since I could remember. "See," my mother said, "we told you we'd come back." I nodded. my heart so full it hurt. And as they led me into the mist, hand in hand, I realized something. I wasn't cold anymore. I wasn't lonely. I wasn't waiting. I was home. People whisper their own versions of what happened that night. Some say I ran away. Others claim the storm took me. But here's what I've come to understand. My parents really did come back for me, just not the way I'd imagined. They'd been dead for years. The car crash that separated us on that rain-soaked night had taken their lives instantly, long before I was found on the orphanage steps. But I was 5, too small to remember the wreck, too terrified to understand what gone meant. The rain, the mud, my mother's promise. The dark will keep you safe until we come back. She must have whispered that as she died, her voice the last thing I ever heard from the wreckage. My mind clung on it so tightly that it became a living thing. For years I felt them beside me, in the dark, heard them whispering through the walls. Every cold draft, every shadow in the corner, I gave it their faces. I made them real again, because the truth was too unbearable. They were never coming back. That night when the doors opened and I saw them standing there, dripping and pale, I think I finally let the memory swallow me whole. My parents didn't arrive. I went to where they were. I stopped fighting the truth. Maybe what Sister Agnes saw wasn't ghosts at all, but a girl finally stepping into the rain she'd been hiding from since she was 5. Maybe those hands I felt weren't theirs, but my own surrender. Were they ghosts? Were they memories? I don't know anymore. What I do know is that love, when it's torn away too soon, doesn't disappear. It lingers. It calls to you in the quiet, in the cold, in the spaces where reality grows thin. And sometimes, if you listen hard enough, love sounds just like footsteps in the rain.